My name's Johnny and I'm doing a series where I'm listening to a different album every day for the whole year. I did this throughout 2021 and I'm doing the same throughout 2022, and I tend to document my thoughts and findings on my TikTok page at Johnny Cheese. So for this pilot episode of album discussion, I'd like to talk about a hot new album that's coasting on the airwaves. Honestly, never mind. By Drake. If you're thinking of listening to this album as just a casual listener, honestly, never mind. Now, a lot of people are saying that this album is not a typical Drake album. You have to go into it with an open mind, maybe expecting some more dancey and house-like beats. Although I'm coming from a point of view of not knowing much Drake, which means I have a complete clean slate. I'm not quite sure if that helped. First of all, near the start of the album, you get this weird falsetto delivery that Drake tries. Obviously it's on pitch because, auto-tune. But I think tonally it doesn't quite work. And the first proper track here, apart from the intro track, Falling Back, doesn't really have much progression either. It feels very flat, very samey. It's like the audio equivalent of slightly above room temperature mayonnaise. Admittedly, I quite like the piano or key part during the track Texts Go Green. However, near the start of the track you get it so infrequently that it just kind of makes these dead middle spaces and these small windows between that sample of these bland and flavourless, skeletal, whimsy nothings. Although I will admit, on aspects of that track there is potential. Even though lyrically it's quite boring and unimaginative. Currents is objectively the worst song. Obviously there's the instrumental with that squeaky bed sound. I get that the squeaky bed noise has been used in other popular songs before, and they make it work. However, here it's just a bit too harsh and grating on the ears to work with the other elements in the instrumental. And during the chorus or the post-chorus of that track, you get these claps that gradually get faster, which reminds me so much of like the early 2010s dance pop music that you'd get. Really giving me some Gangnam Style vibes there. Downhill had one of the more interesting choruses in my opinion, however nothing to really differentiate it from the rest of the album. Drake's vocals and melodies were a little bit more interesting, but by no means would I call it groundbreaking. And the track Tie That Binds has this classic nylon-strung guitar solo, which I think in isolation as a guitar piece of music it actually is quite cool. However, when you mix some of the melodic movements it goes through with this style of music and this backing track, it feels out of place, harsh and uncomfortable. The way that it sometimes falls off beat a little to then pull itself back in a very classical manner does work in isolation, however not so much on a Drake track. Again, a lot of potential as an independent music part. I just don't think it works when you bring it all together. And then there's that final track with 21 Savage, which is kind of fun. It's kind of fun. For those that haven't seen my TikTok series, I don't like to give albums ratings, because at the end of the day, I haven't listened to enough music to really objectively say how good an album is. And the whole point of my TikTok series, which this is an extension of, is to introduce myself to new music and build some thoughts and first impressions around what I listen to. So, with that in mind, I'm not going to put a number to it, but I will say, I don't think it's very good. So whether you're a new subscriber or an old one, welcome to the channel and I hope you stick around. See you in the next one.